So the 2020 election is approaching, and a lot of people are throwing around this phrase.
Pack the court.
Court packing.
They'll know my opinion of court packing when the election is over.
Pack the court.
But where does it actually come from? And what the heck does it actually mean? Today, here at Freedomists, we take a look back at history to find the answers to these questions. Hey, what's up guys? Lem here, and this is Freedomists. And on this channel, we take an honest look at history, data, and philosophy to think deeper about tough issues and to find ideas that work. We put in hundreds of hours to bring these conversations to you, and one of the best ways that you can support us is just by clicking that subscribe button. So, as it turns out, I know it's a shocker, but the phrase packing the Supreme Court has been thrown around by a lot of individuals to mean whatever it is that they want it to mean. In order to understand what the phrase actually means, though, we have to look at the history of the highest court in the land. When the founders were writing the Constitution, they established multiple branches of government to spread power into the most hands as possible. But the Constitution doesn't actually tell us what powers are specifically given to the Supreme Court, or how the entire judicial branch is even organized. The founders left that up to the legislature to figure out those specific details. So, as its very first introduced bill, the US Senate passed the Judiciary Act of 1789. This act gave the young, fledgling United States a Supreme Court as the head honcho of courts. This high court resided over 3 large circuits, which were composed of 13 smaller judicial districts. The highest court in the land started with 5 associate justices and 1 chief justice. And so there you have it. The Supreme Court started with a grand total of 6 justices. But Lem, you're probably asking. There's 9 justices today. What the heck happened, and what on earth does that have to do with packing the court? Well, I'm so glad you asked. Or maybe you didn't ask. Like calculus and Madison's hair color and Chris Christie's belt line, it changed. And not by magic, by Congress, actually, and by cookies in some cases. It changed in 1807 from 6 to 7. It changed in 1837 from 7 to 9. It changed in 1863 from 9 to 10. And it shrank after passage of the Judicial Circuits Act in 1866 from 10 down to 7. And it changed again in 1869 from 7 to 9. And this is the number of justices that we have today. And packing the court refers to this number. 9. Not this number specifically, but the fact that someone wanted to change that number. And that someone was Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Court packing describes a bill proposed by FDR in 1937, known as the Judicial Procedures Reform Bill. FDR saw the Supreme Court as an obstacle to maintaining his programs in the New Deal after multiple acts were struck down as unconstitutional. So with the Judicial Procedures Reform Bill, he, meaning FDR, proposed adding a new justice for every residing justice over the age of 70, with a max of 15 members total on the Supreme Court. Democrats and Republicans at the time saw the measure as a violation of the separation of powers between branches and an unprecedented power grab by the president. And this attempt to expand the court was ultimately shut down by the Senate, which voted 70 to 20 to send the bill back to committee to remove the Supreme Court expansion clause. So, packing the court comes from the phrase court packing, coined by a physician, educator, and activist that opposed the New Deal, proposed by FDR, and his name was Dr. Edward Rumley. Packing the court, historically, is rooted in the idea of expanding the number of justices on the Supreme Court in order to green light legislation the president likes, such as what was proposed by FDR back in 1937. But what seems to get left out of the conversation about whether or not to pack the Supreme Court is to remember what the Supreme Court's job is in the first place. Is it the job of a Supreme Court justice to judge laws in accordance with their personal feelings or in accordance with the Constitution? I guess that would depend on your views about the Constitution to begin with. Whether you think it's an archaic document in need of updating to solve today's unprecedented problems, or whether it's a timeless document ensuring individual liberty and guarding against the universal problems of human nature and government. But, as usual, we want to know your thoughts. Court packing or not?
Nah! Oh, that's way too loud.
Nah. What do you think about the idea of expanding the number of seats on the Supreme Court? Is it brilliant? Or is it dangerous?
Yes, I'm only a bill, and I'm
sitting here on Capitol Hill. Pray that I will, but today I am still just a bill. Oh my gosh!